City Council meeting is called to order for May 21st. Madam Clerk, pledge please.
Do we have to wait? Do we have to wait for,
I think we're good.
Yes.
Yep.
We're good to go, babe.
all right. Roll call. Councilman Asbill?
Present.
Councilman Buddy?
Present.
Councilman Chatelain?
Present.
Councilman Johnston?
Present.
Councilman Wheeler?
Present.
Mayor Bodier?
Present.
Police Chief Walker?
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr is absent. Finance Director Todd Tunion?
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry?
Present.
And Municipal Clerk Nicole Lee is present.
Okay. Welcome back to the City of Harahan's Council Chambers. Harahan, United, 6 feet apart has been our slogan, and it's been, we've been doing our due diligence as citizens, and I think we've been working real hard to try to fight this thing, and it looks like we're doing real good, and hopefully we'll get back to some kind of normalcy soon. Although we are here in person, we are limited to the number of people who can join us. We're also live streaming the meeting on YouTube. For that to work, we ask to respect those watching by remaining silent. If you must speak, please move outside the chambers. We appreciate your cooperation. If you submitted written comments, they will be read at the appropriate time by the city clerk. For those watching on YouTube, you may participate by making a comment in the YouTube comment section during the public comment period. The city clerk will read those comments that pertain to the agenda item. Thank you. Just a couple of announcements that I want to make. Wilcox Field at Harahan Playground, if you guys didn't know, was named after the Wilcox family. And just recently, we lost Miss Wilma Wilcox. She was 86 years old. She was a late wife of Freddie Wilcox. And she'll be very dearly missed. I knew her for a very long point in my life when I was growing up. Real odd relationship, friend of a friend. And she was the sweetest thing you've ever met. She was an unbelievable person, and she would do anything for anybody. So just if you wouldn't mind, just take one brief moment of silence for Miss Wilma. Thank you. Thank you. I've been asked this week by the council to talk a little bit about what's going to happen in the near future with budgeting and finances for the city. We know there's going to be a budget shortfall. We're already doing comparisons and analysis, especially when it comes to sales tax and the little money which we do get from the casino. We know just in 2 months now, we believe we're about, rough estimate, about 150 down so far just in sales tax revenue, and we've actually started to get real creative and reach out to look to see what other programs are out there. So we've actually enlisted for the first time that I can tell in Harahan's history a lobbying firm to lobby for the city. We know when money does become available, a lot of people are going to be jockeying for position, and we feel that we just need a bigger voice at this moment in time than us. And so we're working with a group right now, which we think is going to be real effective for us, and hopefully somewhere down the line, it can fill the void that has been hit by our city and every city from the lack of revenue. But we are aware of it. We are planning for it. We will be revisiting the budget. Some substantial changes will probably be made before here and the end of the year, which I'm sure every community and every government entity will be doing. But we do want to let the citizens of Harahan know we are aware. We are working very hard. We're always here, just so you guys know. And also the council doors, the City of Harahan City Hall doors will open Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. If you guys want to come in, and as long as we'll be practicing social distancing and following all the CDC rules. Okay, before we begin with the agenda, I would like to ask for someone to make a motion to amend the agenda to add executive session for Woods Material, case 24 JDC, case number 761783. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. Do we? Yep, we have to open for public hearing. Would anyone like to come speak? No one coming forward to speak. Public hearing is now closed.
Do you have to wait a second for online public?
Yeah, we gotta
Okay.
wait, give about 2
Okay.
minutes. There's a
And-
little bit of a delay between us and the YouTube feed, so we're gonna wait a little bit longer to make sure YouTubers don't wanna comment. There's a little bit of a delay between us and the YouTube feed, so we're gonna wait a little bit longer to make sure any of the people on YouTube don't wanna comment before we move on. Is that better? It is, okay. Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson to add Woods Material to the executive session. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Woods is added to executive session, I'm sorry. I have another motion to add to new business number 4, high-content ABO applicant for Uncle Matt's located at 2303 downtown Hickory Avenue.
Move to add.
We have a motion by Councilman Asbill.
Second.
Second by Councilman Johnson. Do we have to open for public hearing? All right, public hearing is now open. Okay, no one coming to speak forth on public hearing. Public hearing is now closed. We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. ABO is added to new business. Madam Clerk?
Special presentations, Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department.
Mayor, Council, viewing public, Tim Walker, Police Chief. During this very trying time we're experiencing with the COVID-19, I'd like to say we've been very fortunate for the decent weather and our citizens have been able to go outside, either work or play in the yard, walk in the neighborhoods, bike ride. Like others, also concerned about the economic impact that this virus has on our economy. However, I'm also concerned about the mental health issues of individuals being confined to their residence during this period. Depression, abuse of alcohol and drugs, which also leads to domestic violence and suicide. Fortunately, we've not seen a problem with domestic violence and suicide in the community. However, the depression is real. I'm taking this time to suggest to those who might be experiencing depression, seek professional assistance to address the matter, which is a great concern of mine in the HPD. Your safety is our priority. I also want to thank the men and women of the Harahan Police Department for continuing to do their duty during this time. Everybody's been at work. We've had no shortfalls as a result of it. I also want to thank all the city employees, whether it's police, fire, maintenance, city hall, administration, recreation, that have worked very closely during this time with everyone in the city. Thank you.
Approval of minutes, reading of the minutes of the virtual council meeting on April 30th.
Move to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnston to dispense with the reading of the minutes. We can like now to open for public hearing.
Hold on, stand by. See, the chief's just leaving.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we gotta give a little bit more time.
Okay.
20 seconds.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to, we're going to close public hearing. And we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to dispense with the reading of the minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Approval of the minutes of the virtual council meeting on April 30th.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by
Second.
Councilman Chatelain. Public hearing is now open.
We'll do the 20 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Chatelain to approve those minutes. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, there are no communications and resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2020-2. A resolution authorizing the Harahan City Council to adopt the updated 2020 multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan update prepared and completed by the City of Harahan, Jefferson Parish Floodplain Management and Hazard Mitigation Department, and Baroka and Benora Engineers and Consultants LLC under contract RP-0352 utilizing funding provided from HMA grants.
Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to accept this resolution?
Motion.
Move to open public hearing.
Open public hearing.
All right. Move for a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler to open for public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Are you all in favor?
Yay.
All right, we're not voting on public hearing, I'm sorry. All right, so public hearing is now open. Okay, no one wishing to comment. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
All right. Proposed resolution number 2020-3. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan adopting the 2019 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire.
Okay, public hearing is now open. Okay, no one can come and speak. Public hearing is now closed. Do I have a motion to accept the resolution by the City Council of the City of Harahan to adopt the 2019 Compliance Questionnaire?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
All right, proposed resolution number 2020-4. A resolution accepting the municipal water pollution prevention environmental audit report for the period of January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019, and to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the following actions were taken and additional actions will be taken by the City of Harahan.
Okay, public hearing is now open.
We're good.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. Do I have a motion to accept Resolution 2020-4,
Motion.
accepting municipal water pollution prevention?
Before we vote,
Yes, sir.
there may be a minor correction, Mayor, as relates to your address. You got to get a little closer.
Yeah, a little close to the
I'm
mic.
sorry. There may be a minor correction necessary on the first page of the document regarding your address.
I think, are you on the compliance question?
No, she's on
Yes.
resolution.
Compliance questionnaire.
Oh, we can go back and open a compliance question if you like.
Well, I think it's a typo, it may be a typo. I think you can correct it.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
that's all right.
I think there's two typos. I think Craig's address is,
On here, it's right now.
it is right
Yeah,
now.
it's
Okay,
right
you
now.
did, correct, okay.
Yeah,
The
we're
first one I
correct.
looked at, I knew was,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
now we're on
We're on
water
Resolution 20-24, municipal water pollution prevention. Do I have a motion to accept that resolution?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second by?
Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution's accepted.
all right.
Ordinances for approval. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. This is proposed ordinance number 2020-5. An ordinance approving the filed platted re-subdivision of lots 3 and 6, Colonial Center, and Lot A, 2B, Soniata Chapatulas Plantation Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, and the creation of drainage, sewer, utility, and other servitudes, all pursuant to the plan made by Ronald Clement, PLS, dated July 24, 2019, last revised as a final plan on December 3rd, 2019.
Okay, public hearing is now open.
No, I do not.
Nicole. Nicole,
Nicole?
did you pass these out today?
I got
It's
mine.
fine this
Yes.
way.
Here, actually,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Mr. Mayor. I'm Edward Suffren. I'm the attorney for JW Colonial Group. Thank you.
Mr. Suffren, if you could speak a little bit louder in the microphone, please?
Okay. Better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start over. Edward Suffren. I'm the representative of JW Colonial Group. They're the owner and developer of Colonial Subdivision. My address is 3000 West Esplanade Avenue in Metairie. I'm with the Dwyer Cambry Law Firm. This subdivision was originally filed on May 30th of 2019. So we've been pending and working through the process for approximately 1 year. We've already had a combined 6 public hearings, both between council meetings and planning and zoning. So this is our 7th public hearing today. As of November 6, 2019, when we appeared before planning and zoning, we were granted a unanimous approval for the preliminary plat. On February 5th, 2020, we were granted a unanimous approval again for our final plat. The rezoning of the 8 lots from commercial to residential occurred on November 21st, 2019. We're not seeking any waivers or variances under this subdivision. We submit that we've met all subdivision requirements and zoning requirements. We've also worked with Councilmember Aspil this week. He alerted us to various city concerns. We've worked on that this week. We've revised the ordinance, and we've revised the floor amendment that we've proposed before, and we submit all that to you tonight. I do want to personally thank Councilman Aspil for his leadership role and the time he spent with us this week, and that's despite his busy schedule. All that being said, we would respectfully request your approval. I do have hard copies of the revised ordinance, clean version of the ordinance, and also the new floor amendment, which we just prepared this afternoon.
Yeah, let's get this. Let the- We've got about 2.5 pages of amendments here that we're gonna do. None of them substantially change the meat of the ordinance. So if we wanna finish public hearing, then we'll have the amendments read, then open the public hearing back up for the amendments, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Is anybody else coming to talk? No? All right. You wanna close the public hearing? Good. Okay. And everybody up here's got a copy of them if they wanna follow
So we're
along.
gonna close public hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so public hearing is now closed. Councilman Asbill?
What I'll do is I'll just read through the list of amendments, and
Wait.
we'll go back and open the public hearing up in Globo and adopt in Globo if that's feasible for everyone.
Do we have a hard copy if someone in the audience wants it?
I think
Yeah,
we
we've
have
got
some extra.
an extra
Would anybody
copy.
like a hard
Got
copy?
one extra copy for sure.
I have some copies.
And Mr. Suffern has some. If anybody wants a copy?
I know, I was looking at you and I was thinking.
You didn't even have to ask, y'all should just gave it to her.
I figured that.
All right, so amendment number 1, after the title of ordinance number 2020-5, insert the following, corrected. Number 2, at the end of the introductory paragraph stating, excuse me, starting with the words, "an ordinance approving," and after the words dated July 24th, 2019, delete the word "last," and at the end of the paragraph following December 3rd, 2019, insert the following, revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes and clarify zoning statement. Amendment number 3, in the first whereas paragraph, after the words dated July 24th, 2019, insert the words following, open quotes, revised as a final plan on December 3rd, 2019, revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes and clarify zoning statement, close quotes. Amendment number 4, in the second whereas paragraph, after the words November 6, 2019 recommended, insert the following, quote unquote, preliminary, before the words approval of said plan. Amendment number 5, in the third whereas paragraph, after the words as a preliminary plat by the adoption of ordinance number, delete the numbers 2019-26 and insert in lieu thereof 1879. Amendment number 6, in a new fourth and fifth whereas paragraph, to read as follows. Whereas no conditions were established within the preliminary plat approval and no new public infrastructure is required for development and sale of Colonial Place Phase 1, lots 1 through 8, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Harahan at its meeting held on February 5th, 2020, recommended final plat approval of said plan of re-subdivision and utility servitude dedication as indicated thereon. And amendment number 7. In the original fourth whereas paragraph, now the sixth whereas paragraph, afterwards City of Harahan determined that, delete the words the preliminary and insert the words a separate conditional plat approval is unnecessary and the final re-subdivision before the words plat of Ronald Clement. And in the same paragraph, after the words Ronald Clement PLS shall be, delete the word considered and insert the words approved as, and after the words would create smaller lots, insert the words, and provided that lots 1 through 8 shall have a 40-foot front setback from the property line, a side setback of not less than 15 feet total with no less than 6 feet on either side line with 10-foot sidewalks along Colonial Club Drive, and further provided that newly created lot A2B1, Soniato Tropicatulas Plantation, be restricted to conditions of lot A2B, Soniato Tropicatulas Plantation, as set forth in ordinance number 1777, and that certain development agreement for retail shopping center and additional acreage within the City of Harahan, hereinafter the development agreement. Amendment number 8. In the original fifth whereas paragraph, now the seventh whereas paragraph, after the words final re-subdivision plat, delete the words of re-subdivision before the words by Ronald Clement and after the words dated July 24, 2019. Delete the word last before the words revised as, and after the words on December 33rd, 2019, insert the words revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes and clarify zoning statement before the words whereby J.W. Colonial Group. And in that same paragraph, after the words which July 24th, 2019, delete the words last revised as final plan on December 3rd, 2019, and insert the words plan revised as a final plan on December 3rd, 2019, revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes and clarify zoning statement before the words is attached here too. Amendment number 9. In section 1, after the words dated July 24th, 2019, delete the word last, and after the words final plan on December 3rd, 2019, insert the words revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes and clarify zoning statement. After the words hereby approved as final, insert the word re-subdivision before the word plat. And after the words smaller lots shall be prohibited, insert the words and further provided that lots 1 through 8 shall have a 40-foot front setback from the property line, a side setback of not less than 15 feet, with no less than 6 feet on either sideline, with 10-foot sidewalks along Colonial Club Drive, and further provided that newly created lot A2B1, Soniata Chapatuas Plantation, be restricted to conditions of lot A2B, Soniata Chapatuas Plantation, as set forth in ordinance number 1777 and the development agreement. In section 2, after the word, amendment 10. In section 2, after the words of Ronald Clement PLS, insert the words dated July 24, 2019, revised as upon plan on December 3rd, 2019, revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, and revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes, clarify zoning statement before the words is hereby approved. Amendment number 11. In section 3, after the words dated July 24, 2019, delete the word last. Before the words revised as, and after the words on December 3rd, 2019, insert the words revised to show setbacks on January 21st, 2020, revised February 10th, 2020 to update setbacks and plat notes, and last revised March 4th, 2020 to update plat notes, clarify zoning statement, and before the words shall be. And in the same section, after the word shall be, delete the word considered and insert the words approved as, and before the words a final, and after the words a final, insert the word re-subdivision, and before the word plat. And in the same section, after the word plat, delete the word plan, and after the words for all purposes, delete the words and which, and insert that a conditional plat approval shall be dispensed with as unnecessary in the final re-subdivision plat before the words shall be recorded. Amendment number 12. In section 6, after the words may be in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed, insert the words, provided, however, this ordinance shall not abrogate, modify, or repeal the terms of ordinance number 1777 and the development agreement, except to the extent such ordinances or development agreement are in direct conflict with the terms of this subdivision ordinance. Amendment number 13. Add section 8 as follows. Section 8. For purposes of clarity and in connection with the future review and interpretation of the development agreement, any reference to lot A2B shall hereinafter mean and include lot A2B1. Amendment number 14. After section 9 as follows, add section 9 as follows. Section 9, the signing of this ordinance and plat shall be subject to an additional revision of the final re-subdivision plat to include the following plat note on sheet 2. A portion of this property is subject to additional restrictions as defined in ordinance number 1777, and that certain development agreement for a retail shopping center additional acreage within the city of Harahan. The development agreement between the city of Harahan, a JW Colonial Group LLC, executed on September 18th, 2014. Amendment number 15. In the final paragraph, after the words day of, delete the number 2019 and insert 2020. That is the end of the 4 amendments. I move to amend the ordinance as read into the record.
Before we go there, I'd like to comment.
We gotta have public hearing and council discussions after public hearing.
Well, you're gonna move to amend it. I'd like to discuss it before we move to amend it. Right? If you move to amend it now, and I discuss something and we'll be amending the amendment. I'm happy to do that.
We'll have to do it again.
That's what I'm thinking. Public hearing has to go first before we
Yes.
move to amend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Okay, so motion by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Asbert to open public hearing. Public hearing is now open. I mean, all in favor? Whatever,
Yay.
5
Yay.
days, 0 nays, public hearing is now open. This is an important one. What's that?
Now that, Judy Johnson, y'all know that. Now that you've read all of this, what exactly does it mean? What changes are made in this plan?
I'll discuss that when it's time for us to talk.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'll discuss that when we have our discussion. I'll explain to you.
Okay, so they have new setbacks on those 8 lots on side and front, right?
Yes.
Okay. They all remain residential, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. What is this new lot that y'all created? A2B1? Where is that?
It is the former lot I'll answer it. It's the former lot A2B. Because it has gotten smaller, it gets a new lot
They changed the
name.
description of the lot because they changed when they made them other 8 lots.
It all has to
It
do
was-
with the offsets on the interior for the commercial and all that that was done last year.
Okay. All right, then
So-
explain the rest,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
Okay, anyone else coming to speak for public hearing?
Give us a minute.
All right, I think we're good.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. All right, council discussion?
So, just in general, with the, all of the amendments, some of the more substantial ones, the only thing that all of these do is provide more protection for the city. Excuse me, let me talk closer. It provides more protection for the city because there was some concern that, with the creation of all these new lots, none of the lots referenced in 1777 are any longer legal lots of record. So basically, we've substituted the lots here for the ones in 1777 to make sure that 1777 is still applicable when it comes time to interpret that document for whatever reason. And then everything else is just historical references. They wanted to update to show the history of all the different plat plans and stuff like that. Mr. Tom?
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to ask, I wanted to answer Ms. Judy's question. When you were saying about the A2B and then A2B1. So since we cut out those lots 1 through 8, the original lot designation had to be renamed something else.
didn't think that was included in A2B1, I mean A2B.
The lot
Oh,
6,
I'm sorry, 6.
part of
I
lot 6
apologize.
was cut out and made
I
6A.
apologize. Yes.
Part of it,
Part of
just
it.
a piece of it was cut out last go-round, so we had to change the lot
I'm sorry,
number.
6, you're correct. 6A.
Okay.
So by cutting that out, you have to rename the lot.
Okay, Mr. Tom, floor is yours.
Three very minor suggested
You
changes.
can pull it down if you, that's,
In,
there you go.
in paragraphs 9, 12, and 13, you refer
Are we
To
referring
the-
to the amendments? The amendment numbers, 9, 12, and 13?
I'm sorry, in the floor amendment.
Okay.
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 So let's go with
In
9,
the floor amendment, paragraph
amendment number
9,
9.
12, and 13,
Okay,
we refer to the commonly used term development agreement. In paragraph 14, you refer correctly to the entire name of that agreement, which is Development Agreement for Retail Shopping Center and additional acreage within the city of Harahan.
Right.
I think they should all conform.
So there's a, previous reference in paragraph 7
Okay.
that defines the development agreement. In amendment number 7,
Im-
it sets it out fully, and then here and after the development agreement. And then the final one, the amendment number 14, that's the one that's going on the plat?
I see it, no, I see it
Okay.
now.
All right.
Yep, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And the last one of any significance is paragraph 14. We state, "A portion of this property is subject to the additional restrictions as defined in." And there was some discussion about specifically stating that it was A2B1. So what I'd propose is that we amend the amendment to read, "A portion of this property," insert comma, including A2B1, comma.
Maybe designated as A2B.
That would
Say
be on the
maybe
third line of,
designated as
Current-
A2B1?
A portion of this property, comma, currently designated as A2B1.
well,
Is that okay?
no,
That would be no objection from the applicant.
I'll say it again, it's in the third line where it reads now, open quote, "A portion of this property,"
Comma.
I would insert after the word property, a comma, including lot A2B1, comma, and then pick up again with "is subject to additional restrictions." So the insertion would be, comma, including lot A2B1,
got it.
comma.
That's fine.
Yeah, so I included a portion of this property. I don't mind including the specific reference to A2B1, but I included a portion of this property to, just in case there was any other portion of the property that we were leaving out that might,
Yes, sir.
restrictions that were in development agreement that,
So if we
would
left
still
that
apply.
in, if we let it read, it would read, a portion of this property, comma, including lot A2B1, comma, is subject to additional restrictions as defined in ordinance.
Okay.
So it's not just limiting it to A2B1, it could be anything, so including. Mr. Stefan?
Say that again,
Is that
please, sir.
okay?
Great.
Okay, so, you want me to make the motion? I have it written down if you wanna.
Yes,
Want me
sir,
to
please.
Move to amend section 9 to include the words, after a portion of this property, to include the words, including, but not limited to, currently designated lot A2B1, comma,
Subject to. Pick it up.
yeah, before the words is subject to additional restrictions as defined by ordinance number 1777. And I have that written down for you, so we can.
That works, thank you.
All right. Motion, open public hearing on the additional amendment.
All right, I have a motion by Councilman Asbill. Public hearing is now open on the additional amendment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no one coming to speak forth on the additional amendment. Public hearing is now closed. Do you want to go back to council discussion?
Sure.
All right, back to council discussion.
You good?
Okay, so do we have a motion to accept these amendments?
Wait, guys, nobody gave a second
Oh, sorry.
for the, you did for the amendment? Okay.
Yeah.
Johnson. Didn't hear.
So we're approving the
Move.
four amendments.
Yep, do we have a
Just this
motion?
most recent one, and then we'll do all the amendments. Okay.
Move to adopt the floor amendment version 2.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to adopt floor amendments for ordinance number 2020-5. All in
Second.
favor?
Well, wait, we're only approving the one that was just made by Councilman Buddy, correct?
Oh, so we're approving.
Right.
We approving
Just that
amendments to the
floor
amendments.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the amendment to the amendment.
Well, we didn't vote on the original amendment.
Sweet
then.
Jesus.
We didn't vote on it yet.
We gotta do this one and then that one,
Correct.
I think.
Bring this in first and then do all the.
Okay, so
amendments.
we're, so who's voting for the, all right, come on, let's go. Who's voting for the amendment to the amendment?
You got a motion?
Make a motion.
All right.
Motion.
I move.
All right, motion by Councilman Asbill, second by
Second.
Councilman Wheeler. All in
Yay.
favor?
Yay.
Okay, so now we have amended the amendment. That's 5 yeas and 0 nays. Now
Move
we're-
to adopt the floor amendments as amended in
Okay, so
Globo.
now we on the floor now. So we're amending, we're moving to adopt the amendments to proposed ordinance 2020-5. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. And now we are moving to adopt ordinance 2020-5 with the amendment to the amendments of that amendment.
Open a public comment here.
All right.
Open. Motion open.
All right, motion by Councilman Chatterley, second by Councilman Asbill to open up for public comment to adopt the ordinance 2020-5, including the amendments to the amendments. This is what I deal with, y'all.
We just want to make sure everything is safe.
Sweet mercy.
Give us a few, hold on. All right, we're good.
Okay, so, no one coming to speak. We're gonna close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes. Madam Clerk?
Suffered, yes, sir. See y'all next month.
Proposed ordinance number 2020-6. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman, who would like
I'll
to say?
second it.
Wheeler?
This is your fire.
Move to defer.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by, to defer. I have a motion by Councilman Asbill to defer. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. Do we get open for public hearing? I'm
Public
sorry.
hearing, yep.
We're gonna open for public hearing on the deferral of proposed ordinance 2020-6.
I gotta excuse myself.
We are opening public hearing
The
for,
public hearing for 2020-6 is open.
because we're gonna defer it.
We have to open public hearing even though we're deferring.
Good.
Okay.
Close.
All right, so no one coming to speak, we're gonna close public hearing, and so I have a motion now on the floor by Councilman Asbill to defer 2020-6,
Second.
second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
All right, 4 yeas, 1 absent.
Proposed ordinance number 2020-7. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman
I'll take.
Johnston. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 1883 with regard to discarding bulk waste during the pendency of a tropical cyclone.
Okay, we have open for now for public hearing.
You could pull your mask down too if you want to talk.
Okay, thank you.
Want to do that too?
John Ream, 3 Rent Pass. I think the residents would like to have an explanation of everything that's, this is encompassing. I know we do have some special things that go on right before hurricane season and all, and people need to be prepared for it. So if y'all would like to explain what this is all about, I appreciate it though.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anyone else coming to speak for public hearing? Okay, public hearing is now closed. Council discussion?
So the purpose of this ordinance, and it was an oversight on mine when I drafted the new nuisance ordinance that we have in the city. Last season, that was hurricane season, right before Tropical Storm Barry or Hurricane Barry, whatever it turned out to be. Thankfully, it was a non-issue for us. But as soon as the mayor announced the state of emergency, people started going out and throwing out bulk waste on the curb, which caused a safety hazard for the city, including sofas and mattresses and tree limbs. That all of that can be projectiles if a storm actually were to come through. And that took man hours away from our city employees who should have been preparing in other ways, like cleaning drains and clearing streets.
Absolutely.
And man hours and money taken away from the city to go clear that stuff so it wasn't a hazard to their neighbors. So this ordinance makes that a nuisance automatically, and it will fine those people whenever the mayor declares a state of emergency in the city for a tropical cyclone. It will fine them, and we'll still go pick it up, but it's going to cost you a hefty fine and penalty to do that. So we encourage you, before a storm, don't go out and throw a bunch of stuff out on the curb, because it's going to cost you money. Wait till after the storm, maybe. Then we're going to have debris removal doing it. So that's what this does. I just have, if there's no other discussion, I have one amendment to one of the lines.
I do have
One
to
other
say-
comment. Wait, Councilman Chatelain, go first.
I don't think the people intentionally throwing their debris out. They just, they say, prepare, clean for a storm, and they just go clean up and throw everything on the street. I don't think it's people intentionally putting everything out there on purpose, but we need to do that now. Clean up now. Don't wait for the storm to come. Thank you.
And the other comment, and I'm sure Councilman Asbill just didn't think of it at the moment, but not only is it a projectile threat, it's blocking up storm drains, and it's a drainage impediment. So this is just to allow the council to remove things at the homeowner or the resident's expense, if they choose to put things out while the mayor's declared a state of emergency.
Just want to elaborate on something that Councilman Asbill touched on, and that's drain cleaning. So I've been out, we've been out really working in these streets lately, putting down new pavement, fixing things, cleaning drains. And we're noticing that a lot of people are not cleaning their drains. It's huge. We need to, it's so important. Some of the houses sit very low. Some of them have trees that are dropping leaves and getting into it and clogging their neighbor's drain. And so here's where it becomes real important this year. They're predicting a very, very, very active hurricane season. And what they're saying is that the Gulf waters didn't get as cold as they normally do. So the water's warmer than it normally should be, and we'll start to bring hurricanes into the Gulf of Mexico. So it's very, very important. We are a tree city. Please, please, please clean your drains. help clean your neighbor's drains, and if you need some help cleaning some drains, give us a call out, and we'll come out, and we'll send maintenance out there to come take a peek, or I'll send some representatives of the city to come out, maybe vacuum some of the drains. We're doing it now. We may not be able to get to them all before hurricanes do come. If they do, God willing, they don't. And but please, it's so important to clean your leaves up and don't blow your debris in the drains. And it is against the law to blow your debris into the drains. And if you're caught, you will be fined. Thank you.
Mr. Johnny, is that good for you? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Make a motion to amend proposed ordinance 2020-7 on line 51, add a comma after law, and delete, in addition, comma, if city contractors were required for emergency abatement, the liable party will be responsible for the maximum fine allowable under the law. And what that amendment does is just, it just tightens that up a little bit. Anybody, whether it's removed by the city employees or removed by a contractor, it'll allow us to collect the maximum fine plus costs plus administrative fees.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to adopt the amendment to 2020-7.
We have to
You want to open
open
for
up.
public hearing?
Yep.
All right, we're going to open for public hearing to adopt the amendment of 2020-7.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, so you good? All right, no one coming to speak forth. We're gonna, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to amend 2020-7.
Second.
Adding in addition to, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. And do we have a motion on the floor to adopt proposed ordinance 2020-7 with amendments?
Moved.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson.
I'm sorry, do we have to open it up for
We
public
don't
hearing?
again.
We do?
We
No.
don't.
Okay, good.
No,
Okay,
we did it initially.
so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by?
Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you, Mr. Buddy. Okay, Madam Clerk?
No ordinances for introduction, no old business, and new business number 1. Todd Tunion, Finance Director, monthly financials with budget to actual comparisons.
Good evening, Council. Todd Tooney on here, just to give a few brief comments and a finance update on the city. So the mayor spoke in his opening comments about the COVID impact to the city, and we're currently working with the city and the rest of the department heads to assess that impact and come up with a proposed budget for the city through the remainder of the year. So it certainly has had an impact on the city's sales taxes received in May, just last week, and in April. A couple other updates from the team. We have completed the April financial statements, presented those to you, and other than the decrease in sales taxes, no real unexpected or unusual transactions throughout the first few months of the year. And then lastly, we continue to work on the annual financial statement audit process with the city's external audit firm. That process is ongoing, and we expect to meet the filing deadline for June 30th. So we've been having weekly calls with them just on updates and progress and open items, and we continue to work towards meeting that deadline at June 30th. With that, I'm available for any questions that the council or the mayor may have.
Todd, just as a comment, and I'm sure you're aware of it, we can expect to see a reduction in our video poker revenue
Yes,
from closure of barrooms and restaurants. So
yes.
as you do your analysis, I know that'll affect, I guess, ultimately the capital fund, but please consider that in your analysis.
Right, certainly. So for the council's benefit and the public's benefit, the video poker money that is received each year, it's around $300,000, comes into the general fund, but ultimately, dollar for dollar, is transferred out of the general fund and into the capital project fund. So a decrease in the video poker revenue really will impact the available funds in the capital project fund for the rest of this year and future years.
Thank you.
Councilman Buddy, I had kind of spoken with Todd. We're gonna try to maybe put something, I guess it was a little bit set back in light of what's going on. Maybe the next couple of months, we will probably have a budget hearing, just to kind of give an update of 2020. So that'll be forthcoming. We will obviously, that probably will be a special meeting. I guess we'll see what kind of goes on with this too, but just so we can kind of keep everybody up to date with the new numbers.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think that's a good plan. The sooner we do it, the better, because if there are any reductions, cuts that need to be made, the sooner we do them, the less painful they are.
Correct. I was, I think he just wanted to finish up the audit. That seemed to be so he's gonna take care of that first. So it may be after June 30th. Am I correct, Todd? Probably sometime after that. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you.
All right, new business number 2, Planning and Zoning Board dismissal and appointment.
Move to defer to the May meeting,
All right,
to
motion-
the June meeting. We're in May.
We're in May, yeah.
okay.
Second.
All right, it's moved to defer by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Deferred.
All right, new business number 3, Harahan Police Department Civil Service Board Representative, Sergeant Jordan Bloomer.
Are we voting on?
I don't think you have to vote on it.
We don't
I
have
mean,
to vote on it.
you're just announcing it, right?
It's just announcing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to speak? Okay.
Assistant Chief Keith Moody. Jordan Bloomer was elected through the process of the election civil service process to replace Butch Adams, who's no longer with the department. So we held the election in accordance with civil service rules. He was selected by his peers and will serve going forward on the Civil Service Board. So this is just the council is required to accept the nomination, to recognize it, and then he'll be sworn in as a civil service rep. Any questions for?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Not a
you.
question, but serving on that board as other boards is a huge contribution to the community. And it's a big job. And I've seen that the board members take their jobs very seriously, and we all owe them a great big thank you for agreeing to serve our community.
And Sergeant Bloomer's a fine officer. He's been with us a long time and knows, again, this is a peer selection, so it was with regards to the peers selected him, so we're excited about moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Move to accept the nomination.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion by Councilman Aswell, second by Councilman Buddy, to accept the nomination of Sergeant Jordan Bloomer to the Civil Service Board. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you, Mr. Bloomer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, new business number 4, high content ABO application for Uncle Matt's located at 2303 Hickory Avenue.
Open the public hearing.
All right. Going to open high content application for public hearing for Uncle Matt's at 2303 downtown Hickory. Anyone want to come speak forward? Any comment?
No.
Okay, so we're going to now close public hearing. There's been no comment on the ABO. Chief?
The application's been reviewed. All the way for is the FBI fingerprints to come back.
Chief, if you can,
It's approved pending
no,
notification from the FBI on the
No.
fingerprint. I'm sorry, it's off.
he still can't hear you. There you go.
There you
There you
go.
go. There you go.
Okay. It's approved pending the FBI fingerprint cards coming back. So we're fine with it. This is normal procedure that there's a time frame where the cards, the FBI reviews the fingerprint cards
So
before we get them.
approval subject to,
Yeah, so approval, so you're saying we should deny it?
I'm not saying that. That's
so
what all three,
approval subject to.
that's what all three applicants.
We know Uncle Matt.
Right.
Move to approve the ABO permit subject to the FBI background clearance.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson to approve the ABO. If Uncle Matt passes the FBI background check. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas.
Abstain.
No.
One
4
abstain.
yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention.
And address the council.
Okay, now I'd like to we now open address to council.
Let me just get my clock going. So we'll do the 3 minutes.
Okay. John Ream, 3 Rent Pass. God bless the city of Harahan and its residents with a win in the wood materials versus city of Harahan compost case in the Louisiana Supreme Court on March the 25th, 2019. Wood Company submitted a court document to Judge Kovach on August the 19th, 2019, 2 days before the 24th Judicial Court case with Harahan. Open quote, "The wood companies have stopped any operation within the city confines and have planned to move such operations to Jefferson Parish," close quote. "The wood companies have stopped mulching and composting operations, but have not removed it off the Batcher and Harahan. Mulching and compost facilities have known health risks, will have a negative impact on the residents' quality of life, will lower home values in our community, and will affect the people exercising on the levee. The dangers of compost facilities. Airborne compost pollution consists of odors, organic dust, mold spores, toxins, bacteria, fungus, viruses, allergens, pollen, plant fibers, and termites." It said references were in articles for compost facilities. "Composting mulch is a habitat for termites, and there is an enormous pile of decomposing trees still behind the levee from Bailey to Haralene's, 2 blocks long." At the August 21st, 2019 court case, Judge Kovach sent the parties into a room to make a statement on the fines and penalties. The wood companies were not willing to pay any fines and penalties to the city. The judge had both parties to come back into our chambers, and the parties scheduled a new date on November the 13th, 2019. That court date did not happen. The case is still active in court. We would like to encourage the mayor to reschedule this court case and go forward to collect fines and penalties for the city of Harahan and to protect the residents of Harahan. Any comments, any questions?
Thank you.
I'm not quite that tall. I had a whole page for Mr. Asbill, but he deferred his ordinance. So if you want to get with me after the meeting or tomorrow, I'll tell you exactly what I found wrong in your ordinance.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes,
before
dear.
you go any further, you can't come up here and just say whatever you want. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, I am always open for a meeting with anyone. Feel free to call me or schedule a meeting by email anytime you'd like. You never have done that. Thank you.
I have done that. I left you a message a long time ago, and I never got a call back. Anyway, I looked at the agendas for the last 3 months, February, March, and April. And while I know the city has lost revenue, we still collected $845,000 plus. But we spent $1.6 million. I think maybe y'all better tighten your belts a little. New chairs, new TV, new paint, new everything. We need to tighten our belts a lot. And if you go forth with this lawsuit with Woods, they should be paying a hell of a lot of fines to this city for the damage they have done to our city and our residents. So please, go after that lawsuit. Help our citizens, because Mr. Reams is correct. It is a health risk. We don't need a health risk any more than we need this COVID, okay?
I'd like to address a couple of the things. First of all, I want to thank the mayor for the paint on the walls, because that was actually the result of a film crew coming in and paying us to use the place. and they're gonna actually paint it back to the white that it was. I'd like to thank Madam Clerk Nicole Lee and the fire chief for working on new TVs, and we also got new laptops and a new Granicus, yeah,
Absolutely.
and all of that was from a GAP grant that went unnoticed and unused from the past administration. So I really appreciate all this nice stuff that we've got, and I want you to know that it wasn't, a city dime was not spent on it.
So just
And
to.
the
jump in.
chairs were donated, so there was
Oh,
no
yeah,
money
the
spent on the
chairs were
chairs.
donated, the paint was from film, and between the grant, the CD, what, it was, I'm sorry, it was the gap, between the gap and the film that's shooting here, and we'll come back, so far, we've collected over $21,000. And that was money that we brought in, and they'll be back, continue to shoot, and we love having them. So, and they helped us advance our city to make it look like, you know, we're up with the times, and we really appreciate it. So, Ms. Judy, I try to be as wise with every penny I possibly can, I promise you that. And I try to, you know, the money that you see us spending out in the city right now, all the road work and stuff that's been done, that was actually money given to us by the parish. So again, that didn't come out of any city dollars. That came out of parish funds, and we thank the parish for that so many times. We also, I know you didn't notice it, but we have a brand new bypass pump that we got. It was a $100,000 bypass pump. That money was donated to us by the parish, and the reason why I dedicated that money to that bypass pump, because it cost me right at $90,000 to buy a brand new one. And I noticed in some old invoicing from the previous administration, they had spent $105,000 to rent one. So I instead spend we have some sewer work you'll see happening in the city, and instead of paying to rent one again we can go ahead and buy our own. Just as we work on Lift Station 5, it'll be down in Harahan Oaks, Lift Station 5 is, so we'll save, that rental would have cost us $50,000. So just that $50,000 we save right there has already paid for that pump halfway, but the pump was already paid for to begin with 100%. So I try to look at everything I can with a business frame of mind, and what would I do in my business to save money, and how would I run my business to become cost effective and make every single penny count. Thank you.
And I just want to make the point clear again, that it is not okay to come to a public meeting and mislead the public without the facts. It's not okay.
No, Ms. Judy.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Judy,
You
wait.
sat there, you stood over there and said that we need to tighten our belts and pointed out this new stuff, none of which a dime was spent by city money. That's misleading.
Nobody has told us that until now.
Well, Ms. Judy.
No, have you asked?
Exactly.
Oh.
Because you know what, this was brought up at the last council meeting, when
It's
you
not-
chimed in, which, you know, there was issues, you basically went on and said, well, they brought in X amount of dollars, but they spent Y. Basically making it look like we're just bankrupting the city. Well, the majority of those expenses was money from asset forfeiture. It was all of this. So, you know, the public's perception by a simple comment that was made by you made it sound like we're just fiscally irresponsible, we're just blowing money away. And that was addressed at the last council meeting. We brought it up, Mr. Turnion addressed it. And here we are again the next month. I truly doubt that everything is going to be apples and apples every month. I highly doubt it.
Not the way it works.
It doesn't.
Don't
But you
work
know
that
what?
way
When
in
I
my
saw
house.
my agenda, you know what I did? I called Todd before I even saw your comment. I said, Todd, can you explain this to me? Maybe a 2-minute conversation. Great, thank you. And you know what I said? Well, can you mention this? Because I have a feeling somebody's going to say the same thing. So instead of making a mountain out of a molehill, a simple phone call, email, the answer would have been made. And you got up and did it again this month.
Somebody's gotta do it.
But Ms. Judy.
No,
but
ma'am,
you
nobody
did not
has to
hear-
make
No, no,
negative
no, no.
statements.
Thank you.
Somebody does.
You know what? Are we
Thank you.
done?
All right, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Come on. That's enough.
Move to close, address the council.
You could ask a question instead of making a negative accusatory statement, ma'am. You do that often.
But
You
your
do that
comment
often.
of, we need to tighten up, so you automatically assume by that comment, we're just spending money.
He just told us we're $150,000 down in the budget. Don't you think that means you have to tighten your belts?
No,
So-
that's not because of
Okay.
overspending.
You know,
Didn't the mayor just make reference to that a few minutes ago?
It's not. due to
That he's
overspending.
aware of the fact that we have declining revenue, the finance director is aware of that fact. We're all painfully aware of that fact. We and every other municipality, more than likely in the United States, are all very painfully aware of that fact. We made reference to it, ma'am, and I know you listen. I know your hearing's good and you're smart and you hear these things. So then you're going to tell us we need to tighten our belt after the mayor just said that's his plan?
Yeah, let's
So just so
make
you
a
know,
motion to
Councilman
close.
Buddy, factual data is that every municipality in the state of Louisiana is down on an average of 28% in sales tax revenue.
I suspect every
Oh,
municipality
we're
in the
down
United
28%
States is
though.
down.
We're down 28%.
I'm sure everybody in this entire nation is down.
Right.
And nobody needs to make, motion to close
I mean,
public.
this is the time we
Second.
should.
Motion to close
Public hearing
hearing.
is, motion by Councilman Wheeler, second
Second.
by Councilman Bodie, all in favor.
Yay.
Public hearing is
Yay.
now closed.
Yay.
And this is a time we should all come together. This is
No.
not a time where we should
They love to
spend
divide.
attacking one another. It's been too prevalent in Harahan for its history, and it's time that we end it so we can move our city forward and have people who want to come and live their lives and put their business in. And as continue, we fight with one another. People are not going to want to do that.
And Mayor, I'm sure everybody would love for that to happen,
Yes,
but
yes,
it's
ma'am.
never gonna happen.
It's going to happen,
It's
Ms.
never
Wheeler,
gonna happen.
because I am a
It's never gonna
romantic and I
happen.
believe it can happen.
It's never gonna happen.
Secretary.
I would love for it to happen, it's never gonna happen. Yeah, Secretary, let's go.
Secretary's report for April, total
Sorry.
revenue, $291,803.25.
Oh,
And reports.
Okay, you want to go, Councilman Asbo? You want to do your report first?
I think you did it.
Yeah, I hear that.
No report.
Councilman Bodie?
No report.
Councilman Chatelain?
No report.
Councilman Johnston?
No report.
Councilman Wheeler?
no report.
All right, well, I want to say a couple things, if you don't mind. Oh, Chief, you want to go? Chief. Yes, sir. Chief Walker? Councilman Wheeler got me all messed up.
I have the stats for the last 3 months, February, start with February. 839 calls for service, we had 9 accidents that were reported, issued 199 citations for 241 charges and 8 patrol requests. Narcotics arrests were 10, 1 misdemeanor, 9 city charges, other arrests were 48, 73 other charges, there were 4 felony, 48 misdemeanor, 20 city, and 1 traffic. Unfortunately, in February, we did have 1 murder, the one on Genera Street, and it's being investigated by the Sheriff's Office in Jefferson Parish. We had no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglary, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 6 larceny thefts, and 5 assaults. In March 2020, we had 802 calls for service, 8 auto accidents, 113 citation issued for 171 charges, 3 patrol requests. Narcotics arrests was 7. The charges were 4 felony and 5 city. Other arrests were 42 for 62 different charges, 6 felony, 35 misdemeanors, 18 city, 3 traffics. No murder, no rape, no robbery, no residential burglary, no non-residential burglary, no attempt burglary, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts, 7 larceny thefts, 3 assaults. April 2020, we had 805 calls for service, 6 accidents, 68 citations issued for 171 violations, 1 patrol request. Narcotics arrests were 12. There were 14 different charges, 2 were felony, 1 misdemeanor, and 11 city. Other arrests were 13 for 19 different charges, 3 felonies, 9 misdemeanors, 7 city. Persons and property crimes, no murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no attempted burglary, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts. We had 10 larceny thefts and 3 assaults. As usual, if y'all see something, say something, don't hesitate to call us, dial 911. Good night and God bless.
Chief, just real fast, we just want to say thank you. Thank you to you and your men. You know, y'all been out working hard for this city.
Appreciate that very much, Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Okay, I'm trying to brush on 3 little things pretty quick here. No, yeah, I'm gonna do my report, and then we'll go to pay bills, just so we can get it out the way. Code enforcement, let's talk about that one first. All right, so I saw some people on Facebook chiming in about some code enforcement issues here in Harahan, and of course, you know, people are home right now, and they are bored. So they're paying attention at everything that their neighbors are doing. We are pursuing every single code violation that we possibly can pursue at this moment in time. So if you do see something, we will come out and we'll check it out. Be patient with us. I know a lot of people think that when you have a problem with their neighbor, there's something that we can do immediately.
Mayor, I'm sorry. So we're getting some messages that YouTube is down. I think we should just do a five-minute recess.
Okay.
Just in case.
Motion for 5-minute recess.
Well,
Okay, cool.
it may be longer than 5 minutes, but,
Yeah.
Second.
okay.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Johnson for a 5-minute recess. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Recess is granted. All right, calling order 8:17. I just want to get back to the points that I was trying to make. I don't know if you've heard them or not, sorry. We had a technical difficulty. Code enforcement. We've been working real hard trying to get out and review code enforcement. We've had somewhat of a little bit limited staff here, but if you do have a code enforcement complaint, please email it over here to City Hall. You can email it to me personally. Take some pictures, send an address. My email is real easy. It's tim.bodier@ci.harahan.la.us. We're going to try to get out and handle them as many as we can. I know people think that we can handle them right at this very minute, but there is a lot of procedure and law that gets involved. There's a lot of red tape and bureaucracy before we can even step on anyone's property. So please be patient with us, but I do not mind the emails. Please email me anytime. Sewer collapse. We having a bad sewer collapse back on Wilson Avenue, which will be the 4th time since I've been an elected official. It's between Norton and Wilson in the people's backyard. We also have another one upstream a little bit that's so bad that we can't even find anybody to work on it. But we are in the process of getting this one fixed at the moment. We're working with, we're trying to find new ways and new engineering plans to come at this at a different direction. We're working on that right now as well. But it's very complicated because soil subsidence is very tricky, and we do have some aquifers and soil subsidence underneath the ground in our city. I became well aware of it last year when the river came up to 19 feet and stayed there for 6 months, and we were digging in some construction, and we dug down 13 feet and struck water. It looked like you hit oil. It was shooting up like a fountain. And so we're finding more of that in the city, and again, we just had a high river event, which is starting to expose a lot of that to us again, but we're trying to get there. I mean, it is what it is, and we're trying to get there, but if you need work or you see something that's odd in your city, water leak, water just poured into the street, you see ground just eroding away, alert us immediately, please. You can email me again at tim.bodier@ci.harahan.la.us. And then on a great note, I really want to thank our business community here and our restaurants for sticking in there with us through some real hard times. I own my own company, and I'm envious of, I'm not envious of anyone who owns their own company at this point, but these guys have really put the work in of supporting us and feeding us and making sure we're taken care of. And then, I see that we have a continued support from our residents, which is incredible. And if I want to really put a thank you out there to anybody, it's our residents supporting our local business and local community. So thank you very much. I hear the term new normal quite a bit. I have no idea what the new normal is. I'm still trying to figure out this one. But we will get there. And so again, Tuesday, City Hall doors will be open. Please wear your mask when you come in. And we're going to try to start getting back to some kind of sense of normalcy, but I have really no idea what that looks like at this point in the game. But we're going to try to get there. So I just want to thank everybody. Even Miss Judy, I want to thank Miss Judy because she does have a lot of knowledge, and maybe sometimes she goes at it a little different than most of us would normally, but she still has a lot of knowledge that I think she brings to the table. So thank you very much, Miss Judy and Miss Majine, who's also such a great member of our community. So, and you come to every council meeting, which is awesome. So thank you guys very much, and that's all I have. Oh, happy Memorial Day.
Yes.
Now we're gonna go to executive
Pay
session.
bills first.
Pay
Oh,
bills,
I'm gonna pay some
okay.
bills. Oh, Lord. Well, don't pay the
Bills paid in April, $574,242.66.
Move to enter executive session.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy to go to executive session. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We are now in executive session. All right, call to order at 8:37. Executive session was for discussion purposes only. No action was taken. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Buddy. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned.